Dungeons.tech is essential for running my D&D games. With just the click of a button, I can generate as much as a whole city, complete with shops and NPCs, or as little as a single NPC. This saves me tons of time, so I can focus on my players and story hooks. Go to Dungeons.tech to learn more about how you can make the most of your time as a DM. Hello and welcome to the comeback episode of Oneshot Escapades. I am your host, Dylan Bain, with my co-host here, Cole Mater. Cole, say hi to the great people.
Hello, great people.
Yeah, that's a new voice there. Jackson Bond has graduated from co-host to producer. Jackson, you want to go ahead and say hi?
Yeah, I used to be a player. Now I am the game.
Yeah. We'll call him producer Jackson. And yes, as you've noticed, we took a little year and a half long hiatus. And here we are back. We plan on releasing episodes at about a monthly pace or so as we have time. But nothing has changed with the show. We are playing D&D 5e campaigns that we found online for free. And we brought back the GOAT of all previous guests. Please help me in welcoming Chad Pitchford.
Hey, thanks. That's an exciting introduction. I don't know if I'm going to live up to the hype.
Yes, I think Chad's episodes, at least his first one he did, I think still holds reigning champion of most downloads of the first iteration of this podcast. So we are excited to have you back.
I don't know how to tell you all this, but every one of those was me downloading it over and over again.
Yeah.
Inflating your own numbers.
Yeah. Well, hey, whatever you had to do, it worked. And so, yeah, it'll be, this one's going to be pretty fun. We are playing a campaign called The Forest of Forgotten Dragons. It's just a few pages here. You could probably run it in, probably 3 or 4 hours, but we're going to try to condense it down to about 45 minutes here. So if the pace seems fast, that's why. And without a further ado, let's begin. All right, hello, adventurers. You have been asked, or you have found a job proposition on a job board. Something about this town called Edgewood. And there have been cattle that have been going missing from farms close to the tree line of the town of Edgewood. As you are traveling to Edgewood, Cole Mater, would you like to describe your character?
So as you look over, you see a pretty tall elven creature. He is in very sleek robes, mainly black and gold colors, long blonde hair. And yeah, looks maybe magical in nature.
Yeah, do you want to, and we look sitting across from him on this horse-drawn carriage. Who do we see, Chad?
You see Inhemno. He's got a cloak pulled up over his head. His eyes kind of glow with like a white, like aura that kind of penetrates the darkness of the shroud. You can kind of catch the slants of his high cheekbones. He's got a quarterstaff in one hand, and then you see a jewel-encrusted dagger on his hip. He's got a cloak, but underneath that you see the pauldrons, the shoulder pauldrons, as they kind of stick out. The shoulder area, what you would assume is his studded armor. You can kind of catch little dangles of white hair poking out of the cowl that he wears.
Did you say cow?
Yes. Cowl.
Oh, cow. Okay.
Yeah.
I was a little confused.
He's just wearing a
has
full
a cowl
on his head.
I was into it. And just for the sake of our listeners here, what are your classes? Cole, what's your class?
I'm a high elf sorcerer.
Okay.
Level 4.
What was your name?
Arrowwind.
Okay, nice. And Chad?
Mine is a blood hunter with 1 point into the bard class.
Ooh. Okay. Sure.
I'm sorry, could you repeat? You cut out.
Oh, sorry. What was your race?
Half elf. Half elf.
Okay. And your name was?
Inhebno.
I'm not even sure. I'm gonna spell that, but I'm not gonna try to spell it right.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Erowin, and we have Inhamno. Okay, so the buggy pulls up. The fare for the buggy was already paid. You were told to meet with the mayor of Edgewood. His name is Arid. The town is yours. You are free to explore as you would like. The town has the basics of any small town. It's got an inn, a blacksmith, a church. The largest buildings are the inn and a large furniture maker shop called Wouldn't It Be Nice. You notice.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you notice mostly the town is humans, with smatterings of halflings and a few other races. The buildings are simple, half timber, and a few people in the street. Fairly friendly, but seem a little cautious of new
As
faces.
Inhebno steps off the wagon, he does so with a grace and swiftness that kind of leads to his agile nature. He reaches his hands, long bony fingers, and pulls his cowl back to reveal his white long mane and his white bright eyes. And he slings the quarterstaff onto his back, and then he swiftly reaches into his cloak, grabs a songhorn, pulls it out, and begins to play the Pied Piper.
Okay. Would you like to roll an performance check?
Yes, please. That will be a 15.
Okay. The town is starting to, you notice people are smiling. One guy comes out of one of the small inns. It's called the Shepherd and the Mug. Comes out and he says, "Oi, that's great. You gotta come play for the Shepherd Inn. It sounds so good." And then he just like hiccups and pukes off to the side. And you see this this mildly aged woman, about medium height. Can't really tell if she's a halfling or a human. She comes out. She's like, "Oh, Harold," kind of sloshes mud on him. He's like, "Oh yes, you must come play at my inn here. Would you like to come visit?"
I stop for just a second. I tilt my head towards him, and then I follow him in, playing the Pied Piper.
Okay.
And as he goes off playing, I will also step out of the cart, trip over the edge, and probably fall on my face.
It goes without notice.
Dust myself off and follow swiftly behind.
Erwin, so smooth. I like it.
Always.
My name's Mary Arnett. What can I be obliged of calling you, my young handsome one?
You can call me Any.
Okay, Annie, that's a great name. And she kind of looks past you at this less than charismatic shape walk through the doorway. And is he with you?
I turn and look at him.
You see Erwin in the doorway.
I smile real big, and yes, he's a friend.
Oh well, he's welcome too. What can I ask you guys' businesses in town?
I was told to come in and play a few songs, so that's what I planned on doing.
Okay, great. Well, the stage is right over there. Any, what was your friend's name?
I will step back, lean my head towards him, and go, "What was your name again?"
My name's Erowin.
Erowin
Pleased
is
to
my
meet you.
friend's name.
Oh well, Erwin, you can have a seat here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you go play. Any?
A rendition of like 3 songs.
Yeah.
doing dances and singing bits and pieces. And then I bow, bid them adieu, and I take my seat. And then my entire aura shifts. And it becomes dark and menacing as I pull the cowl over my head, and my eyes start to glow a bright red tint.
And the people kind of clap as they're watching, and they're just kind of slow down, and now there's some people just kind of watching, waiting for something to happen. And it's kind of awkwardly silent until you hear, "Oh, Arid!" And you look over, and Mary, the host of this inn, is looking at the doorway, and this man in his maybe late 40s to 50s, dressed somewhat plainly. You can't tell, he might just be another farmer, but you definitely recognize the name as the mayor of this town. But Mary goes over and greets him very, very quickly and anxiously and says, "Oh, Arid, I'm so glad you're here. There's these new people here that you must meet." And he says, "Oh, new people in town, huh? Well, maybe they're the people here sent here to investigate the missing cows." And he kind of looks over at you guys and nods his head.
Upon hearing that, I'm going to stand up swiftly, pushing the chair back, and then make my way towards him. Where do I start?
Oh, well, perhaps I could, we could all get to know each other a little better. I could, you will be handsomely paid for this endeavor.
Sure, as soon. But the quicker I can get going, the quicker I can be on my way. Time is of the essence.
Okay, well, you are very persistent. Anyways, my name's Arid. And you were, and he looks at you, Chad and Hamno.
My name is Himlin.
Himlin. Oh, okay, great to meet you. And you, young master, what's your name? He looks over at you, Erwin.
My name is Arrowin.
Okay.
What is your name?
Oh, my name's Arid, and it's I'm just this is a small, humble town, but they call me their mayor, and I take it upon myself to make sure the town is safe. And well, let's get going. Let's get into business here. The disappearing livestock has been noticed closest to the tree line. There is the quaint farms. They've lost probably the most cattle. There is the lumber camp, which is just past, maybe an hour or so past the tree line of the woods, maybe an hour and a half away from the quaint farm. The lumber camp, though, there's these rumors of ghosts at the lumber camp. I really don't know. There is the foreman there. His name's Allard. I don't totally trust him. But anyways, yeah, maybe those are two places you could start. There's the farm and the lumber camp.
Could you show me where the farm is?
Oh yes. So it's a couple hours north from the center of town here where we are. In fact, you could follow the sign that points towards Quaint Farms right outside the door here. It's just a couple hour walk towards the tree line.
Thank you. And I will turn and look at Erwin and go, "You, magic user, follow." And I will leave outside the door.
I will look at Aaron and say, "Thank you very much for your time." And I will turn and leave.
Okay. So you guys leave, and you hear slightly from inside the inn, Mary rush over to Arid. Is like, "Oh, that was so brave of you to go talk to them," and then the door shuts, and you are all off.
And then at a double space, I take off towards the farms. Or at a double rate, I take off towards the farms.
Double time.
Double time.
Yeah.
I will sigh and then take off
Very much
running after.
All right, you get there. So you follow this road, and there's just what you would assume is quaint farm, is just a small humble house, with a barn. And yeah, there's the land. You don't see anybody immediately in the land, but you do see the small house and a barn.
Is there a fence or anything?
No. You would assume that these people let their cattle free range, or they pay somebody to herd them around the land.
Do I see anybody in the fields working, maybe any of the cattle or anything like that?
Make a perception check.
And do we see any livestock around?
You
Cows
see
or otherwise?
You see smaller livestock. 3, Chad.
Yes, I'm a perception check.
We will get to your 3. There are smaller animals. You will not see cattle. You can also roll a perception check, Erwin.
That would be a 19.
Okay, with a 19, you don't notice any cattle, but you will notice, actually closer to the tree line, which is a bit away from you, you'll notice some scorched land. Like there's been a forest fire.
Okay.
Could you be any louder? It is so hard to concentrate with you tramping through the dirt and gravel. We are here on business. Please be quiet.
I'm just gonna look around to see if
Well,
there's
don't
anybody nearby.
just stand there, magic user. Is there anything you see?
Is that my cue to talk? Can I speak, or am I supposed to be quiet?
I don't know how I could be any more clear.
You're right. I do see some scorched earth over there. Like maybe there's a fire.
Oh, perhaps they were burning something. Well, do you see anyone?
Did I see anybody, or
No,
was it
you-
just livestock?
You didn't see anybody. Just the small livestock and like scorched
Just
land.
Chickens and
Yeah.
I will
Chickens.
stop abruptly. I will make a 90-degree turn and head towards the building. And as soon as I get there, I will bang on the door.
The house.
Yes.
Coming. You'll hear an older lady's voice, and you hear footsteps. She settles down and opens the door. Ooh, and she kind of looks at you with surprise. And
As soon as she opens the door, my eyes will go white and I will move my cowl off of my head.
Okay. Would you like to roll like a charisma check?
Sure. That is a non-natural 20.
Okay. She says, "Oh, well, you are exotic," and she kind of looks you up and down, and she says, what can I do for you, sir? My name's Nilda Quaint.
Well, first, ma'am, my name's Innie, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. You are so kind. I am actually here with my associate over there, Erwin, and we are investigating your cow disappearances.
Oh, Bernie would be so pleased to hear that.
Bernie? Who's that?
Oh, my husband. And she kind of looks at you and kind of tilts her shoulder a little bit.
For shame, but what a lucky man he must be.
Oh, you stop it. Can I make you guys some cookies? Barrowin, whatever your name was, you feel free to come in.
Erwin, with me, please.
I will follow behind.
And we will follow the lovely young lady into her abode.
Okay. So she sits you guys down. She gives you a nice tall glass of fresh milk and some pastries. She says, "Well, let me go get Bernie real quick. He's out there working somewhere, and we can discuss this. I'll be back."
Yes, ma'am. And with that, I'll pull out my songhorn and I will begin to play just a slow melody as she leaves.
Oh, a musician too. And she walks off.
Does she leave the house?
She exits the house, leaves the front door open as she runs off. And you hear,
Ah, I can't wait to meet this Bernie fellow. He sounds like such a delight.
These do seem like lovely people.
Yes,
But-
they do, Erwin. I would have to concur.
I have to ask, because the listeners are wondering, is Erwin used to dealing with this sudden shift?
I would think that he is kind of just getting used to it. He's still
Okay.
a little confused on what is totally happening,
Yeah.
but he gets the idea that there is something strange.
There's a
A
couple
current
people living in there.
Hmm.
Okay. So as Erwin and some introspection runs in his head, just wondering what the heck is going on with the bard blood hunter next to him.
As she leaves,
Okay, yeah.
where is the burned area in relation to the house?
So you guys were coming up, say, on the south end of the house, and the woods are on the
Mhm.
north end of the house. And so
Okay, so it would
the
be
fire
between
was
the house and the
in
woods.
the woods, yeah. So it's north of the
Okay.
house.
Gotcha. Is there a barn anywhere close to that or anything as well?
The barn is kind of off to the east, just a little bit, like maybe 400 feet.
Okay, so it's pretty close to the house as well.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Okay. And how much area do you think was actually burned? Is it just a small patch?
It's hard to tell. You were only able to see it because of such a high perception check.
Okay.
Okay, so we proceed. So Nilda comes back with her husband. So Bernie walks in. He's a very rugged looking man. Definitely no stranger to combat. And he's not afraid to let you guys know. He kind of looks you both up and down. He says, "You guys are here to investigate the missing cattle?"
I
Yes,
pull the
yes,
cowl
sir.
over my head. My
Oh,
eyes
boy.
turn red again, and I say, "Yes, we are."
I thought you said he was nice. Well, he was a minute ago.
I stand up abruptly. Please, could you show me what I need to see?
Well, the church is in the middle of town. I'm assuming you don't mean that though. Well,
No.
this scene is most particularly interesting to me. There's here, just you fellas follow me now. And he kind of walks off, and you don't have to roll a perception check to hear this. He's like, "Nilda, lock the house." Oh, yes.
As we leave, I hear it. I don't pay it any attention, and I go, "Magic user, keep up."
Oh,
And I-
magic user, huh? You do some magic, and he looks over at you as you guys are walking.
I dabble.
You dabble. Okay, I got a cousin that dabbles. He lives in the city.
And
All right,
we
so-
all do. Please, sir, show me what you need to show me.
Well, of course. Well, as you guys are walking, it probably will take about a 10-minute walk or so. And as you're walking, you'll learn he fears these recent attacks. They aren't just fire cats or goblins in the night like usual. He's had to fight off goblins before, trying to steal his cattle. Anyways, he leads you to a part of his field, which is, he tells you this is why he got the mayor involved in the whole situation. The land is charred, and you actually notice a bit of cowhide leg and 3 small, very smallish humanoid creatures, maybe the size of like a gnome or a goblin or something like that.
And they're all charred and dead.
Yes, very dead, and yeah, like the leg of a cow.
I will kneel beside the first one I come across, unsheath my dagger. I pull it out. It's a bit longer than your average dagger, and it curves into a very sharp point. And I will bury it in the chest of the first entity. I will carve down to his belly button, pull it out, and then run the blood underneath my nose.
Okay.
And take a deep breath. How long have they been here?
Well, this just happened a couple days ago. Ugh.
I wipe off the blade on my pant legs and inner thigh. I move on to perform this ritual at each one.
Okay.
Do I smell anything different other than the foul smell of decaying flesh?
No, and it's not even decaying. The smell of burning is more prevalent than decay at this point. So,
Okay.
Yeah, there hasn't been much decaying.
If we look around, is there maybe like a trail of burnt area, or is it just like one like spot that's been burned?
It's just more like a splotch,
Okay.
a spot. There's no like trail of burnt ground or anything like that. Go ahead and make both of you can make nature or medicine checks, depending on maybe what you're trying to investigate at this scene.
Can I investigate for maybe some kind of magic use? I could do an arcana check.
Sure.
Can I maybe see look around and see maybe where, if something came up, like where it would have came from? Like if it would have gone like into the tree line, if there were like broken branches or any trails maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and make an
Like leading
investigation
off.
check.
I rolled a natural 1. It's a 5
Okay.
total, but it's a natural 1.
I rolled 4 total.
Both of you kind of coming up empty-handed. There's not much more you can take
Sorry.
from this scene.
So, do you know where these people or things came from?
Well, the goblins usually come from the forest there. I don't know I don't think it was goblins because it's been so consistent and I've killed a lot of goblins lately.
How much cattle have you lost?
Oh, this is the first time it's been all of them.
So they all just disappeared.
It's been 2 or 3 picked off at a time. And then this time it's the last like 4 or so taken.
And they just vanished? No tracks, no nothing?
Yeah, no tracks. I mean, it might be a very big band of goblins using torches. But it seems...
Can you maybe point in the direction of the lumber camp?
Oh yeah, the lumber camp is about an hour into the woods.
Just straight that way.
Yeah,
Just
north.
and it's like straight into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll notice it. You'll start to hear the sound of a river. And when you start to hear the sound of the river, you'll know when you're getting close. The lumber camp uses the river to move wood.
I will step to the side a little bit out of earshot of Bernie. I will say, "Hey, Robin, if I may have your attention for just a second, please.
Of course.
Are you trying to triangulate where perhaps the attacks are coming from?"
That is the goal.
That is a good idea.
We find where they came from, then we find them.
Was there a third
Presumably.
attack, or was there only 2?
What was that?
Was there a third attack, or was there only 2? I do not know if you know this or not, but a triangle has 3 sides. We cannot triangulate the attack if we only have 2.
You are correct.
Okay. I will follow your lead then, magic user.
I'll walk back over to Bernie and I will say, how much do you know about Allard?
Oh, I really don't know much about him. He's been running the new Oldwood lumber camp for a while, but
So you don't go out there too often?
no, I'm not a woodsman, or not a lumberjack, that is.
Right. What do you think about...
Investing in a fence.
I could build a fence, but then I'd have to decide which of this land is mine, and I like to think that all of it's mine. Come to think of it, I like to think that I have too much land to put a fence around.
Perhaps only a fence around your livestock so that it doesn't go up missing.
You
all
ever
the
raised cattle, son? You got to have a lot of wood and a lot of trees and you got to have a lot of stuff to build a fence big enough for cattle to not just eat all the grass that you build the fence around.
It is a good thing that the lumber camp is pretty close then.
Yeah, it'd be expensive too.
Indeed.
So, have you heard any ghosts around here?
I've heard ghost stories. Now, if you want to hear a ghost story, you go down to the lumber camp. I'm sure they can tell you a lot. Every time I hear about something about ghosts, it's always coming from that lumber yard.
Well, you have been less than helpful. Magic user, let's go. And I will head off towards the lumberyard.
All right, y'all can back now, you hear?
We will see. Then I will follow behind.
I will slow my double time steps to allow Erwin the chance to catch up. I will switch personalities back to Innie. Pull out my songhorn, wipe off the lip, and say, well, Erwin, did you happen to think of anything, perhaps?
He was not very helpful.
I do so agree, and Himlin does as well. Where do we go from here, though?
I think if we hear ghost stories, then maybe that's where we head.
Ghost stories.
Ghost
I agree.
stories.
But if we see anything along the path, you would think, do you believe in ghosts, Erwin?
I do.
Hmm.
But I have never heard of a ghost taking cattle.
Me neither. And with that, I will shove my songhorn back in my mouth and begin to play whatever melody kicks me in the moment.
All right, great. So you guys are walking in the woods?
Towards
Walking
the
through the woods.
lumberyard.
Towards the lumberyard? Okay.
Keeping an eye out for maybe signs of others that have traveled through.
I'm
Okay,
using my passive perception. I am not paying attention whatsoever.
Okay. Well, the trek through the woods is fairly uneventful. You're walking into the tree line. There's game trails you follow for a little bit, and then the trail starts to become more prominent until you come to an opening in the middle of the woods. And you see what you would expect to be, what you would expect to see in a lumber camp. There's a man-made clearing that houses several buildings, including an office, some housing, a mill, and a boathouse next to a river that leads deeper into the woods. Upon approaching this opening, a hired guard will stop you and ask you for your business. You there?
As
What
right
can
before
I?
we get to him,
Yeah.
I'm going to Erwin would overhear this, but there's going to be like a discussion. Innie will be like, No, no, listen, there's more people up here. If you just let me take the lead, we can learn so much more information than if. No, you do not understand. Time is of the essence. If you do, shut the child up. For the love of God, please keep him quiet. It is so hard to think with him talking all the time. Just let me take the lead, Hemlin, please. Thank you. And then we proceed to the guard.
You there? What's your business?
We, sir, are here to investigate the strange disappearances that have occurred, both at the farm and up here at the lumberyard.
Disappearances?
I will have a confused look on my face. I will look to Erwin and be like looking for some sort of support or understanding.
Have you not had any disappearances lately?
No. I mean, if you mean trees, yes. And I know where those have been. But
And you've not heard of any disappearances?
Oh, perhaps it's the ghost. The ghost, yes.
Ah.
The ghost. We're here to investigate the ghosts.
there's no ghosts here. Allard, you all stay here. Let me fetch the leader here.
I believe there's definitely ghosts here.
He walks off and fetches Allard. This man who definitely portrays someone who is in charge and is much more charismatic. He walks up to you guys and he says, "Hello, I am Allard. I welcome you to the new Oldwood Lumber Camp. Please, I apologize for the disappointment, but we're not giving any ghost tours or anything like that. They're all been rumors. There's no ghosts.
Understand me, Allard. My name is Innie. I'm so sorry to cut you off. As you see, we are on a very tight schedule. This is my cohort, Erwin, magic user. We were sent here by the mayor to investigate the noises because perhaps they're related to a few disappearances that have occurred at the farms in town.
Noises. If there's anything that's been said about ghosts or anything, I assure you, there is nothing. The employees here, they're scared of the woods, scared of the dark. It's no big deal. What I've never
Listen to me, Allard. And I'm gonna use intimidation and be like, there is something you're not telling me, and we need the information to finish our job.
Okay, go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
That's a 22.
Okay, with that, he will say, "Hey, man, listen, I don't know anything about ghosts. Truly, there's no ghosts. If you want to look at something, man, go talk to Theory. He crazy old man apparently took the wrong way down the river, and there was something downriver quite scary, and there's broken tree branches and something about dragons. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about
Point me in the
ghosts.
direction so I may be on my way.
Up there." He's quick to point you away.
Magic user, please follow. And then I will double time towards that direction.
Thank you, sir. And I will take off.
Okay, you're walking around, and someone kind of catches your eye. He meets eyes with you guys as you're walking through the lumber camp. People just cutting trees, doing what lumberjacks do. And he kind of stops you and says, "Hey, you guys are talking
Yes.
about." I heard Allard say something. Say my name, maybe. I'm Theory. What's
Theory, tell me about the dragons or monsters or boogeyman that lives in the woods, please.
Or possibly ghosts.
Or yes, magic user, ghosts as well.
I mean, there's definitely no ghosts.
I will use intimidation, draw my encrusted blade, put the point into his chest and say, listen, I have
Hey.
very little time and very little patience.
Hey man, all right. All I know is Old Man Habsburg swears when he took a boat upstream, he saw some huge eyes, and he said they were a dragon. And there's down to trees that we definitely didn't cut down, and There's something upstream, upriver. I mean, there's a boat right there. You can take it. Go upriver and see for yourself.
Where's Old Man Habsburg? Because walking into a trap isn't something I feel will benefit me.
Oh, he doesn't work here anymore. He's gone.
He's dead?
No, he quit shortly after his thing happened.
Magic user, if you please. And I will step to the side.
Thank you, sir. And I'll leave.
Are we tracking a dragon?
That's what it seems like, but you really think there are dragons around here?
I find it hard to believe that no one has heard or seen wings flap in the distance, and a dragon is very hard to miss.
That it is. I think a fire ghost is much more likely.
Why would a fire ghost break trees?
Because fire burns things.
Yes, but if you would stop, let me finish talking to the magic user. Thank you. Fire does burn things, but branches do. Yeah, but we could always go to, I don't know. Erwin, what do you think? Where should we? If you would stop for once. No. I don't want to fight a dragon. And my character will sit down on the ground, tuck his knees to his chest, and start rocking himself back and forth.
I'm just going to look around for a second.
And then you will hear muttering, a high-pitched kind of whiny voice mixed in with the voices of Himlin and Innie going back and forth as he shakes his head and his eyes flash different colors from white to red to blue. And it does that multiple times before the white takes over. And I stand up very quickly. I grab my songhorn out of my jacket and I begin to play a very soothing melody and close my eyes half sheepishly. At the end of the melody, I will pull out a small vial of what appears to be like a whispery silver liquid. I drink it quickly, pull it down, take a deep breath. I apologize. Sometimes I need more help than just myself. What do you think we should do next?
I really don't know. Do you think we're prepared to fight a dragon?
I think I don't know. To be honest with you, I do not know. What kind of dragon are we facing? Is it an adult dragon? I mean, it's eating. I just don't see. Is it a dragon? Or could it be, like you said, a fire ghost? Do we need more information? That's the question. You know what? The saying of my other colleague, time is of the essence. Let's just get in the boat and go.
Let's go.
And then I will start leading towards the boat.
Okay. So our adventurers get in the boat and start going downstream. It will not take long until you start to see broken branches around. And you're both...
I look at the broken branches very carefully to see if they're broken or if they're like caught on fire or something like that.
Okay. It's pretty easy to tell that they were broken. There's no signs of fire.
Well, perhaps the fire ghost theory is out now, magic user.
It would seem so.
How does, excuse my lazy grammar, it was the other one trying to speak. How does a whole village of people not see a dragon?
Baby dragon?
He kind of like ponders over the idea. Killable. Let's proceed.
As the boat is going down the river, you notice as you're looking at the trees, the sound of the river picks up. But you notice the trees are no longer passing you. You seem to have paused. Somehow the river got louder, but it stopped moving as you notice you start to go the opposite direction. Now you're going backwards. Oh, and then it stops. The river starts going forwards again, and then it goes backwards again. And you look behind you to where you're coming from, and there are two adolescent dragons pulling the water, pedaling the water, trying to get the boat you're in to come to them. One on each side. It's like they're fighting over which side the boat comes to, and they're pedaling the water in the river, and you hear them. And then suddenly they stop. One looks at the other one and then pounces on top of it. And now these two dragons seem to be just fighting over you. Your boat, through all of this ruckus, eventually hits the side of the river, and you're now stopped. You're caught up on rocks.
I will try to move quickly up the cliffside, the rock side, try to get to the shore, trying to get my foot on land.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make a dexterity check.
19.
Okay. Yeah. Smooth as butter. You're easily get your feet on land.
Did he go towards where the dragons are, or is it the opposite side of
There's a dragon. Well, it would be on the side the dragons are on now. So the dragons were on different sides of the river, and now they're both on the same side as one, like kind of pounced on the other, and now they're fighting.
And about how far off are they?
They're about 100 feet from both of you.
Do they look like they were trying to eat us, or more like playful?
Make a nature check or an animal handling check. I don't know. Maybe insight. We'll say insight. Why not?
Insight.
Yeah, insight the dragons.
6.
Yeah, don't know.
All right, I will carefully step out of the boat.
Okay.
Probably trip a tiny bit, and then do you think we need to fight?
Right as you say that, you hear a female voice yell, "Ainum, Braza, stop fighting!" And this halfling woman who has been in nature for a while has like a rolled up parchment and is like hitting one on the side. It's like, "Stop hitting your brother! No, stop! Ainum, get off of Braza! Go, get off!" And then they kind of stop fighting, and they're like, "Arr!" And they're like looking at each other. And she turns around. She says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My name's Sable. They weren't gonna hurt you. I'm sorry. They're rot dragons. They don't mean to hurt anybody. Are you both okay?"
With that, you see my character, his cowl's pulled up, kind of like covered over his head. His eyes are blood red, and his pupils are dilated black, and he has the blade cut through his hand as blood leaks down, and he looks confused, and then instantly switches to white, pulls out his songhorn, and says, "They were no bother, really."
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Start wiping my hand on my tunic.
I'm so sorry. Usually, I know that the dragons shouldn't be down this far south. Are you stranded? Is there something I can do to help? Or
Actually, no. We're investigating the disappearances of the cattle, and we are also investigating the possible. What would you say, Errowin? Monster, boogeyman, dragons.
Dragons.
Oh, okay. I guess that kind of solidifies it. We are you a part of the village, ma'am?
No. Truth be told, me and my father, well, before my father passed, lived in the woods our whole life until he passed, and we took care of these dragons, and it's just been hard to manage them, and I promise I tried not to let them get away and eat too many cows, but we've had to move south, too far south. In fact, I haven't, ever since the vines started popping up, I haven't been able to take the dragons back. The berries on the vines I'm sorry, I'm speaking too fast.
The berries on the vine. Everyone, do you have a moment, please?
I'll walk away towards him.
So, perhaps we have two options. Himlin wants to kill the dragons and the girl. I think our better bet is to see why they came down here and then send them back. What do you think we should do?
Why kill a dragon if we don't need to?
Well, dragons are in Himlin. If you shut up. Exactly. Why take life if it's unnecessary? There's beauty in those scales, is there not? And that halfling, do you think she's of age? She must be. She's never mind. Okay, so we investigate what's going on up north. Do you think she'd take us?
I do. Especially if she wants to keep her dragon safe.
Well, do we bring out Himlin to intimidate her, or do we try to persuade her that
I would personally go with more of the persuasion route. She seems like a nice lady, so why be mean?
I concur. I will about face, head towards her, and I will move in a sexy, fluid motion as I approach her. I put one hand on her shoulder and go, "Ma'am, is there any way we could be of service to you?"
You don't even have to roll any kind of persuasion check or anything. You get the sense that she is so disconnected from society that the fact that you're even having a conversation with her is very pleasing and refreshing to her. She says, "Well, I would love to be able to take them back to the cottage, but there's these vines started growing all around the house and that started making the dragons sick. And if you could go back and clear all the vines and the berries off the vines, that would help. And I think there's something about them. You'd have to take them out at the source. They're very invasive."
Well,
could it be ghosts?
I don't know many ghosts that have a green thumb, but
well, that's correct. Usually they're transparent. Anyways, we'd be happy to investigate for you. My name's Innie, by the way, and this is my partner, Errolman.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you both. Yeah.
Oh, the pleasure is all ours, I assure you. Could you point us in the direction of your cottage? We will investigate, fix
yes.
the issue, and send you on your way.
Oh, I can't thank you enough. The cottage is just an hour or so north from here.
Listen, your dragons, beautiful creatures, really, they are. Well, they're starting to cause a bit of a nuisance for the village. Do you think you could control them for maybe, what do you think, Arrowin, 3 hours, give or take?
Give or take.
Allow us to go fix your issue, but please don't allow your dragons to eat any more cattle. Though, from the looks of it, I don't think they have any more cattle to be eaten. Either way.
Yes, if you could, it would make it very easy if we could be back in our cottage by nightfall. They hunt at night, and they don't feel the need to hunt whenever they're at the cottage.
Perfect. Well, I bid you adieu. And then I say her name that I would remember as the character.
Yeah, Sable.
Sable. And then I bid adieu to the two dragons as well. Doing my best to say their names, but butchering both.
Yeah. Amenem and Bazaar.
How big were these dragons?
They seem somewhat physically mature, but they are very dwarfed. Like they're like the runts of their litter. And as you're walking a little bit with Sable back to like her main camp, she would mention that these dragons are definitely the runt of the group, and she would mention that it's common for dragons to abandon the runt of the litter or leave runts behind, and that's what her and her dad did. They took in the runt dragons.
So are they about like 10 feet tall, 5 feet tall?
Oh, probably 10 feet.
About 10 feet. Okay.
Okay, and go ahead.
So they're still pretty big.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. And with that, I think we're about 45 minutes in, and I'm going to go ahead and call that cuts, and we can decide to do a second episode, or if we want to just spoil the rest of this session right here. What do you guys think? Should we do a second episode?
I enjoyed it, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
completely up to y'all.
Producer
I'm
Jackson?
perfectly fine with doing another episode.
Yeah,
Part two?
second episode for sure.
All right.
This dynamic is really interesting here, so I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listeners, thank you so much for listening to part 1 of The Forest of Forgotten Dragons. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to the creator of this module. Let's see if I can figure out who this is by. Well, I have their email, if that counts. Anyways, I think their username, wherever they were, probably their social handles is Wright, WRIGHTDE, Wright DE. So thank you, Wright DE, for writing this module. We look forward to finishing it in the coming weeks. Yeah, thank you, Chad, for coming on for part 1. And
I loved it,
Chad.
man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
we
Thank
will,
you, Chad.
we will get together
Thanks.
and do part 2. If you liked this episode of Oneshot Escapades, let us know by leaving us a review on your favorite podcast player. And if you want to see past episodes, you can go to dungeons.tech in your browser. Go to dungeons.tech/pod, and you can see more of our past episodes and subscribe to our mailing list there. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Hey, did you enjoy that one shot you just heard? Would you like to run your own? If you visit dungeons.tech/pod and enter your email address, we will send you free modules that we created, as well as links to our favorite modules from the community. That's dungeons.tech/pod.